This is a Hindustani flute with 6 holes here and 1 hole here. These 6 holes are called fingering holes, and this 1 hole here is called blowing hole. As the name suggests, you blow into the blowing hole and you use your fingers to close and open these holes in order to create different types of sounds. I'll show you an example. So what are the crucial skills you require to play a good flute tune? First, have or increase your lung capacity. Very fast or skillful finger movements. For example, to make wavy sounds, you require wavy finger movements. Another crucial skill to play a good flute is to have good lawyer so that you can pursue through the sentence to its end without being derailed somewhere in the middle. For example, let's say you're playing a raga, you'd not be able to complete from the first to the end in one go with as mellifluous sound as possible if you do not have lawyer. It's extremely crucial. In the West, perhaps they would call it flow. Lawyer is essentially your attention fixed at one position, one something, so that you can effectively direct it towards a particular goal. And here, your particular goal is to make it as sweet sounding as possible to enchant your audience. Once you start playing flute, your fingers are very crucial, since you would use your fingers almost for everything except the blowing part. And if you're also into productivity, you'd also require your fingers to type really fast on the computer. And if you're also a student or a knowledge worker, you require fingers to write. So you have one more reason to keep your fingers safe. That's all for the caution for the fingers, but make sure that you don't take this lightly. What if you object, I don't have a heavy lung capacity? In that case, you'd have to develop it, because nobody really comes with heavy lung capacity from the very inception of playing flute. They usually develop it along the way. How do you develop it? You practice playing very long notes like this. Try to stretch this to, let's say, a couple of minutes. Well, I didn't stretch it because it will take a long time in the video, so I had to cut it short. But when you practice, make sure you stretch the blows to as long as possible. If it's, let's say, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, that's excellent. But even if it's just 20 seconds, make sure that you start to practice these long stretches. Otherwise, you won't be able to play long dhuns in one stretch. You disrupt it in the middle, and that's going to sound very bad. And you would have difficulties going up in the note scale to the Tara Sapta. You'd have to try and master your blowing angles. The angle at which the air is thrown inside the flute is a crucial factor to the sharpness in which the sound comes out. Well, this is the flute I started with. I got this from Bali Jatra for 30 rupees. The reason you should buy something really cheap in the beginning, because you never know if you'd continue. It's tremendously difficult to start playing flute, because unlike, let's say, tabla or guitar, piano, it takes a very good chunk of exercise or practice for some significant duration before some meaningful sounds comes out of this. Of course, there would be a quality difference between a 30 rupees flute and a 100 rupees flute. This is without any scale. You won't find any C, D or A scale printed on the flute, or neither the flute maker, wherever you purchase this sort of flute from, would not be able to tell what sort of flute this is. So this is just something you bring in to test whether you can endure the initial days of the rigor. Always make sure that before playing flute, you clean the flute a little, because I haven't been playing this flute since a very long time now. There's spider webs inside it. So if you don't clean this before you play it, all of these go straight into your lungs. I think this would be all for this video. Thank you very much for listening. Bye bye.